Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. Benji Messer, unique pronouns. I'm the music director here, and I'm pleased to have our choir with me, with Arthur Melbondian. Our opening hymn for October is There Is More Love Somewhere. Please rise in body and spirit. Let's sing together. There is more. Stand for our chalice lighting.
Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. My name is Amy McClendon. I'm pleased to be your worship associate today, and my pronouns are she, her. Please join me as we recite our covenant, and Dan Coleman lights our chalice. If you're watching remotely and have a chalice with you, please light it with us. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to share our strength in fellowship, thus do we covenant. Please be seated.
Welcome, welcome, dear ones. Welcome home and welcome to worship. In all the mysterious wonders that make up your uniqueness and all the beautiful traditions that shape your spiritual life, you are welcome here. My name is the Reverend Christine Dance. My pronouns are she and her, and it is my honor to serve as the minister here at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Phoenix. We strive to be a spiritual community for our time, one that is theologically diverse, radically inclusive, and justice-centered. If you are new here, and I know we've got some folks who are here for the first or second time, do you all want to wave? Welcome, welcome. We are so glad that you found us. We hope that you can experience the warmth and love of this congregation. Each Sunday can be radically different from the last one, so please come back a few times to get to know us. Here at UUCP, we put our mission into action when we discover what it means to be human together. We have a few announcements because there is tons going on right now. First of all, today we are making PB&J sandwiches in Office 2 after service. UUCP is part of the Extended Heat Relief Network that continues to feed the unsheltered, and this is our chance to be helping hands in serving our wider Phoenix community. You know you want to make sandwiches. And I want to give a shout out for exciting opportunities to give your feedback into our year-long framework project. And all of you have this on your seat if you are here in person. If you are online, the question is, what is your biggest dream for UUCP? You can answer that online into the chat. You can email it to framework@PhoenixUU, or you can fill it out here. We are imagining, naming, and hoping for what this congregation looks like now and into the future. And there are 6 different opportunities to participate in a 90-minute session that is super fun, really well facilitated. You can find those in Compass, and we hope that you fill this out as well. Next Sunday, does anyone know what's happening next Sunday? Pride Parade! It is Phoenix Pride. And Phoenix, thank you very much, puts its Pride Parade on Sunday at 10 a.m. Woo! So next Sunday, we will both be having people talking about Pride here. We're going to have particularly a number of our elders talking about what Pride means here. And hopefully as many of us as possible will be marching in the Pride Parade, where we are going to be streaming from the Pride Parade into the sanctuary. Everywhere you look, it's going to be Pride, Pride, Pride. There are all the details of where to park, how to participate in that in Compass, and we would love to have as many people as possible. It does make a difference for quantities to show up at the Pride Parade. And finally, this Tuesday is an amazing UU theologian and poet, Reverend Julian Soto, at 6 p.m. Please sign up, pay what you can. I promise you, you are not going to want to miss this. They are an amazing poet and leader in our UU denomination. So now let us be invited into the present moment. Let's go deeper into ourselves, and let's feel ourselves coming into beloved community.
Today, we are exploring what it means to be a people of love. Our opening words to center us into this space are from the writer and activist Cleo Wade. Love is not passive, it is not quiet, and it is not still. Love is a fierce and mighty thing, and love can be mad as hell sometimes, but it still conquers, it overcomes, and it marches on. And now I invite anyone who would like to come forward for Together time.
Right there. That's where we're going. There we go. Yes. Knox stealing the show again. How are you all? Are you good? Who's your friend's name? Unicorn. Okay. Or mini rainbow? I like that. It's a mini rainbow unicorn. I love that. How are you all doing? Some of you I haven't seen for a few weeks. It's so lovely to see you. So we are talking about what's the name of our faith? What's the name of our faith? Awesome. It is awesome. It starts with 2 U's. What's the full word? Long word. UUCP is the initials of the congregation. That is an awesome start. Unicorn. That's another one. Not versity. We've got a hint.
Unitarian Universalist.
Yay for the win. So we are talking about Unitarian Universalism today, and we're going to be diving deeper into what we believe. Now, some of you got little prompts. There are some things that some people say about Unitarian Universalism. Who has one? Jessica, would you be willing to say one?
There's no creed, so it doesn't matter what you believe.
Oh, that's one way to think about Unitarian Universalism. What does Unitarian Universalism mean to you all? You've got one? Is this a prompt? I know this is not what you... Good.
You can believe whatever you want.
Wow, whatever, anything, huh? Anything that you want, whatever. That's an interesting thing to think about theologically, whatever you want. Robert, what do you think, or what do you read?
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
Okay.
Oops, went off script. It's like a buffet of religion. You can pick what you want.
A buffet. That's an interesting metaphor. Just pick a little bit of kung pao chicken, a little bit of broccoli, a little bit of whatever you want. What do you think? What is it that someone wrote down that you think that it might be?
It's not a real religion.
It's not a real religion. Who would say that? Wonder if there's any more of what maybe some people think.
It's a social club for people who still want to go to church on Sunday.
Oh. Okay. Well, I don't know about any of those. Do any of you, is that what you think Unitarian Universalism is? It's a religion. It is a religion. And what is it that we believe? That's the deep question. That's the big one. Because we don't have any one statement, creed, or statement of belief. So I actually wrote those statements. Spoiler alert. And I think that they can be really challenging. They are all saying that ours is not a faith that grounds us or informs us of how we live in the world or that guides us. That it's just this topical thing that you pick out like you pick out your toppings on a taco bar, right? And I don't think it's that for me. For me, it guides me every single day in what I believe. So, how many of you have heard of 6-word stories? Have any of you heard those? 6-word stories are telling a whole story or a statement, but you can only use 6 words. So Brigitte did this as a experience, and you came up with one, right? What was one you did?
My 6-word story of our faith is, love weaves through all you use, do. Love weaves through all UUs do.
That's really good. Does it sound complicated? Yeah? So there's others. I came up with a few, and I consulted ChatGPT for a few more. And then I amended them to make my own. That's very UU. I looked at something as a resource, and then I made it my own. Many beliefs, one community, endless love. There's one. Harmony in diversity, faith without dogma. Oh, you like that? Okay. Quest for truth, bound by love. So here's what I'm going to invite you to do. You've already got sheets asking you to write down thoughts for the framework project. It's also a piece of paper. I want to challenge you. You got about 10 minutes or so until the next part of the service. I want to see if you can come up with your own 6-word story of what Unitarian Universalism could be. Now, it doesn't have to be the ultimate answer. It just can be a story of what Unitarian Universalism can be. And we're going to weave it into our meditation today. So you've got about 10 minutes for that. It's okay to pull out your phone. It's okay to, and folks online can write it into the chat if you want. So does anyone have something off the top? Anyone can think of one? You've already got one, Duke?
I stole this from Hillel. Be kind. Everything else is commentary.
That's so beautiful. I love that. And I could see how that could guide your being in the world. Yeah, that's lovely. Good. Anyone else have an idea of 6 words? Okay. Oh, you do. Paisley, you want to come up? You'll have opportunity more. We're just getting a couple of ideas. Okay. Yeah.
On the mission statement that we now have, and someone came up with half the religion, twice the love.
Oh, half the religion, twice the love. Thank you very much. Well, you all think about it. We'll all be coming up with our 6-word stories. Thank you for exploring what Unitarian Universalism isn't and what it can be. We appreciate you being here. Arson will play you out back to wherever you're going today.
Each week, we practice generosity as a source of joyful living by splitting our offering plate between UUCP and a local organization that shares our values. For October 2023, and we're officially halfway through today, our Share the Plate partner is Black Lives of Unitarian Universalism, or BLUE. BLUE is committed to expanding the power and capacity of Black UUs within Unitarian Universalism, providing support and information and resources for Black Unitarian Universalists, and justice-making and liberation for Black people through our faith. Half of the money that BLUE gets will be going to a housing project in Minneapolis that they are sponsoring to bring affordable housing to Black and Indigenous families. As part of the revolution, we know that stable and affordable housing is a way to end the carceral state, build wealth in families, and create stability in the community. BLUE has a goal to raise $100,000 by the end of the year to drop the expected monthly payment for residents from $1,800 to $1,200 a month, the difference for most between truly sustainable and perhaps impossibly high living costs. It is BLUE's hope that this initiative will change the material conditions for Black and Indigenous families who move into the units that are built. For all that you give, we are so very grateful. Ushers, thank you for your willing hands in helping us to pass the plate.
Arson, we're so lucky to have you with us. Thank you. It's an important practice in this community to make time to share pieces of our lives with each other. We do this because each person has value and each person's experience matters. Whether you come in with laughter in your heart or with tears, all of you matters. If you are on Zoom and want to share a joy or sorrow, please write it in the chat. If you're in the sanctuary today, there is a table right back there. I've got a few of them to share right now. They're little cards. As we open this sacred time to amplify our joys and sorrows and lessen our sorrows with communal care, let us just take a deep breath and a moment of stillness to center ourselves. I want to start again this week by acknowledging the hurt and the pain that we are seeing in the Middle East. And I have heard from a number of you who are trying to make sense of it, educating yourselves, being confused, and mostly being heartbroken. And I share that with you. I share the hope for peace. I am sending love to all of those who are hurting, all of those who continue to hurt, and those who are so unsure of what the future will bring. May love for one another, instead of war and violence, somehow prevail. Online, we hear from Amy Miskell, who says, "A joy. Stephen got to come home from the hospital last Sunday evening after a 4-day stay. We are convinced that hospital time is in dog years. It is good to be home. Another joy. Stephen's son, Robert, will be coming to visit us this week, his first trip back to Arizona after moving to Michigan." From Danny up in the sound loft. "We found out my dad has stage 4 lung cancer. Additionally, it has spread to his liver and his brain. He is in good hands and currently undergoing chemo and radiation. We are hopeful that he will improve. Our hearts are with you and your family, Danny." Another sorrow from John Hahn, who I saw earlier today. Where's John? Right there, thank you. John says, "My brother-in-law, Philip, is in heart failure back in Michigan. Chris flew back to be with him. He will be undergoing some procedures to help solve some issues and get him hopefully on the road to recovery. Our prayers are with you and your family, John." And some joys. Sylvia Sharma says, "A joy celebrating daughter Susan's 47th birthday. Happy birthday to Susan." And Sherry, this is technically an announcement, but I'm so glad to see you after. I'm going to let this just one. This is a new small group, begins today. It's a joy, because it's going to be cross-generational. It's Jenners and Boomers. Hope that you will join us. That's the last one. I feel like I have too much power up here sometimes. And for all the joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts, may we be reminded that even in our silence, we are bound together in the interdependent web of life. Let us send love to each other here and our folks online, knowing that we are connected. It feels good to be in the loving presence of one another. Let us just settle into the here and now in the spirit of meditation and prayer. I want you to relax and settle into this present moment. Take a few deep breaths. Go ahead and pull out those 6-word stories. We're going to intersperse our meditation with 6-word stories of our faith and singing "There is a Love." Let us be meditative in our singing and our sharing.
choir will do it for you first. It is 6 words. You do it with us once.
A 6-word story. Just to indicate, Brigitte will bring a mic around to you.
Universal love propels universal hope perpetually.
You use, accept, and welcome all people.
Unitarian Universalism tenderly calls me home. No dogma, no angst, great love.
Loving kindness for ourselves and everyone.
Quest for widespread justice, bounty, and sustainability.
Find beauty and truth in community.
My religion is so darn cool.
Caring communities without borders powers action.
Weaving community with fibers of love.
Build it and they will come.
Love wrapped in diversity and inclusion.
seek knowledge, share love, tolerate everyone.
All believe all beliefs are acceptable.
Theater for rehearsing and performing true democracy.
Remembering light shines in all beings.
Sing once more.
From our online folks, honoring diversity with love for all. Love, not always easy, keep loving. God is love, followed by action. Celebrating all, joining together in love. All people are good, beloved, worthy. Love and gratitude are my gods.
And one more from Bonnie Fraser.
Humaning together in joy and in pain.
So incredibly beautiful. Years ago, I read a blog post on managing your day-to-day worries. The author described a trick from her therapist. You're supposed to picture your life, past, present, and future, as the Grand Canyon. You're supposed to envision the canyon and then imagine the different parts of your life scattered about throughout its vast expanse. The day you were born, your 4th grade spelling bee, your current job, your upcoming vacation. It's supposed to help you by dropping them into the canyon, visualizing these moments, these things you might be worried about. It's supposed to help you visualize today's worries as small blips in the context of your large, full life. And I've felt that play out in my own life before, as I'm sure many of you can relate. The things that feel so big right now will take a different shape in our memories. As some of you know, my brother and I hiked the Grand Canyon rim to rim on Wednesday, so I had a chance to feel the vastness up close and from many different vantage points. There are several mental snapshots that will stay with me for my lifetime. That first glimpse we got of the towering canyon walls around us as the sun rose, rounding the bend to find the next resting point that felt like it was never going to come, crossing the Colorado River and feeling its strength and its churn beneath me, and the light of the headlamps bobbing along ahead and behind us as we made our final ascent. Beyond thinking about the Grand Canyon as a visual representation of my life, as that blog post therapist suggested, I'm seeing it as a representation of my connection to and position within our big, beautiful, and sometimes brutal world. I don't think dropping my anxieties about reproductive rights, environmental justice, racial justice, and all my other worries that are amplified in our current political climate will make them go away. They seem like the really big contours of the canyon that will be seen and felt for generations to come. And at the same time, if I can remember that sense of connection to something bigger than me and bigger than any of us, and as I think about the other hikers on the trail who we leapfrogged out of the canyon with, I don't feel so alone in those worries, and it feels much more possible to build collective solutions. All of this for me is grounded in love. Love for our planet, love for my fellow hikers, love for myself, and love for those who will come after me.
Scottish minister George Matheson wrote the lyrics of our next piece on June 6th, 1882. It's an important night for him, and he noted the date. He wrote 4 verses. This arrangement by Elaine Hagenberg includes 2 of them. They read, "O love that will not let me go, I rest my weary soul in thee. I give thee back the life I owe, that in thy ocean depths its flow may richer, fuller be. O joy that seeks me through the pain, I cannot close my heart to thee. I trace the rainbow through the rain and feel the promise is not vain, that morn shall tearless be."
It was 2012-ish. I had been divorced for about 3 years. I had allowed time for my kids to fall apart, to fully come out of the closet, happy coming out day last week, and to do a lot of therapy. I was thinking about maybe, possibly, maybe not, maybe someday dating again. It became a popular topic to broach with my friends, who often wanted to set me up with the worst matches. "What are you looking for?" they'd say. "Well, I don't want somebody who does X, Y, and Z. I don't want someone who is closed-minded or mean to waiters. I don't want someone who isn't okay with my kids or doesn't like my dog. And I don't want someone who is against my faith." It was a long list. And then, of course, there was that really smart friend who stopped me and said, "Okay, that's what you don't want. What is it that you do want?" That was much harder to answer. I knew I didn't want what I had rejected before, but I couldn't quite imagine what it was that I wanted to include in my life. It turns out I found a woman who works in construction. Hang with me, that metaphor will make sense in a minute. I find that this mindset is true in Unitarian Universalism as well. Most of us are very good at describing what we don't believe. God as a white male somewhere up in a sky, the concept of hell, the idea of original sin, the absolute truth and inerrancy of the Bible. Many of us don't believe that. But there are not as many of us who are as eloquent about what we do believe. Now, some people take years for the deconstruction process, that process of deconstructing what we don't believe. And it can take even longer, possibly your whole life if you have religious trauma to work through. Whether we do that deconstruction with bulldozers, raising it all at once, or with screwdrivers and wrenches slowly pulling apart the pieces, we create large garbage bins of what no longer serves us. But I worry that sometimes we finish the deconstruction project and don't spend as much time reconstructing what we do believe. We leave that lot bare, or with a few cement foundations that we never go and build something else on. Or for those of us who do build a structure of what we believe, we don't spend a lot of time decorating it, putting in shelves and appliances that we like, much less sitting in front of the fire of our newly constructed faith to savor in it. I mean, it does make sense. Both arms of our faith's heritage, the Unitarians and the Universalists, came from stating what they didn't believe. The Unitarians rejected the idea of Trinity, the Trinity within Christianity. They didn't believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost as three separate entities. They took the highly heretical stance that God was one being, hence the Unitarian name. And the Universalists rejected the idea that only some people were saved and went to heaven. They took the very heretical stance that everyone was saved by God's love. That idea that redemption was universal to everyone, no matter their faith, their location, or their actions. Hence the Universalist name. Now, since those times, most Unitarian Universalists have rejected far more than that. including the majority of Christian thinking, even though there are definitely still Unitarian Universalist Christians among us. And there have been times that certain Unitarian Universalists have embraced other titles as full identities, such as humanist, or pagan, or Buddhist. But honestly, the magic of Unitarian Universalism is that we don't have one label for people. We don't have a single creed or statement of belief that everyone has to agree to. Instead, we are creating a community where each person is finding what meaning is for them. Each person is creating their own home. They're building their own house. The reason this is so important is when times get hard, when we're struggling with the world, with what's going on in our life, with the challenges of everyday living, we can't be supported by what we don't believe. We need a strong undergirding of what we do believe to support us when times get rough. We need to know where our strength and our unity is. We need to know what grounds us. So this idea was, gratefully, I was reading my UU World this morning at breakfast. Our new president, Reverend Dr. Sophia Bettencourt, spoke about it right on the opening pages. I am so grateful to her for that. She says, as a community, we have long relied on life experience to guide us in our religious explorations, saving us from, quote, living an unexamined faith, as our Unitarian theologian James Luther Adams regularly cautioned against. The key teaching from our common theological inheritance centers the value of faithful stories, most particularly when shared in beloved community. Now, the Unitarian Universalist denomination, which Sophia leads now, fresh on the heels of a very excellent UUA president that happens to come from this congregation. Yes, we are still very proud. Our denomination has helped in defining some guiding principles throughout the years. They have changed as our faith and our world has changed. In fact, our UUA bylaws say that they should be updated every 15 years. It has unfortunately been 35 years. But it is a process that is underway right now. And personally, they are statements that excite me and I feel can give us good direction as we continue to build and decorate and live into our collective and individual houses of faith. Each year, I do a sermon series, approximately one service a month on a specific topic. 2 years ago, I did it on the characteristics of white supremacy culture. Last year, we looked at liberation theology through the lens of different world religions. This year, we are going to explore each of the 7 proposed values of Unitarian Universalism. And we've built much more than just a service around each one. For each one, we're going to have a color. We're hoping to have some decoration up here in the altar. Georgia and Marlene, I haven't sent the email about it yet, but I'm hoping you'll say yes to decorating with us. We will have a children's ministry programming around each one of them. We will have some kind of service opportunity for each one. We have a monthly opening hymn that will tie to the value for that month. You've already heard the one that we've got for the month of October. And our small groups will have packets specifically for the values that we are exploring that month. Our hope is that the year will give us an opportunity to dig deeper into our faith, collectively and individually. Our faith is robust and life-giving. We draw on it every day to influence how we want to be in the world. And I invite you this year to work on your house, to build it if you haven't built it yet, to decorate it more if you have built it. And if it is built and decorated, I invite you to sit in front of the fire, surrounded by your faith. I want you to decide not just where you don't want to live, but building the size, the shape, the unique contours of the house that you do want. Furnishing it with items that bring you comfort and meaning, and decorating it with the items that represent your past, your present, and your future. So let's dig into these values. They will be changing slightly soon. There is an amendment process. It's very complicated by how we do this. There will be some slight changing in words from the amendment process that happened at our General Assembly this past summer. But each value has 3 levels to it. It has a word, like you see there. It has a description of what that word means. And then, importantly, I think, each one comes with a covenant, an action that calls us into how we live into that value in the world. So let's do this together, both all this year and right now. I'm going to read the word and the description, and I am going to invite you, yes, that includes you at home, to say it out loud. I can see you if you are. You will read the covenant. It doesn't start on the first one, that starts in the second slide. Love is the power that holds us together and is at the center of our shared values. We are accountable to one another for doing the work of living our shared values through the spiritual discipline of love. Inseparable from one another, these values are justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all thrive. We covenant to dismantle racism and all forms of systemic oppression. We support the use of inclusive democratic processes to make decisions. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. We covenant to freely share our faith, presence, and resources. Our generosity connects us to one another in relationships of interdependence and mutuality. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to life and to our Unitarian Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect. Pluralism. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and commonalities with love, curiosity, and respect. Equity. We declare that every person has the right to flourish with dignity and worthiness. We covenant to use our time, wisdom, attention, and money to build and sustain a fully accessible and conclusive communities. Interdependence. We honor the sacred interdependent web of all existence. With humility, we understand our place in the web. We covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. With humility and reverence, we acknowledge our place in the great web of life, and we work to repair harm and damaged relationships. So this year, beloveds, may we build our houses to be strong and beautiful and personalized just to us. May we explore the richness of our faith. May we find ourselves centered in love always and surrounded by values that give us meaning, strength, and grounding. So might it be.
Amen. Thank you, Rev. Christine. We close with Answering the Call of Love by Jason Shelton. Please rise in body or spirit. Here we go. The promise of the Spirit. Faith, hope, and love abide. And so every soul is blessed and made whole. The truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dance to proclaim. We are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound. Corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, denying the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We are answering the call of love. A bright new day is dawning. When love will not divide. Refreshes your face in every embrace, fulfilling the vision divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim. We are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love. We are answering the
Stay standing, it won't be long. Continue to answer the call of love with us with some coffee. Adult and children's activities begin at noon. We hope that you will stay to connect with our newcomers and each other. Now may we engage deeply in our faith. May we connect with and be sustained by the love that is in the center of all. Go in peace, go in love.